You don't need to wait until you're having a breakdown in your car or crying quietly in a public restroom to start taking your mental health seriously. And contrary to what many people think, you don't have to be sitting across from a therapist in a clinical office to begin healing. Today, we're going to create something incredibly powerful and deeply personal, your very own therapy toolkit, a set of real, practical, grounding tools designed to help you manage your emotions, process difficult moments, and navigate the inevitable chaos that life throws your way. Whether you're currently in therapy, on a wait list, between therapists, or just trying to hold it together on your own, this toolkit is for you. So, why build a therapy toolkit? The truth is, therapy is a remarkable and transformative space, but it isn't always accessible to everyone. And even when it is, the bulk of emotional healing and self-regulation actually happens in the moments in between the sessions. Healing often unfolds on ordinary nights when anxiety won't let you sleep, during awkward confrontations at work, in moments of overwhelm that don't seem big enough to call someone about, but feel crushing nonetheless. That's where a therapy toolkit becomes essential. Think of it as your emotional first aid kit, not filled with platitudes or cliché quotes, but with tangible strategies you can reach for when your thoughts are racing or your emotions are spiraling. A therapy toolkit won't replace professional help, but it will empower you to show up for yourself, consistently, courageously, and on your own terms. Tool number 1. The Emergency Grounding Kit. Let's start with the most immediate support system, your emergency grounding kit. When your anxiety spikes or a panic response is triggered, your nervous system shifts into fight or flight mode. Your body reacts as if you're in danger, even if you're just lying in bed or stuck in traffic. In these moments, your thoughts become rapid and disconnected, and it's hard to come back to the present. This is why you need quick access grounding tools. Start by including a 5-4-3-2-1 sensory prompt card, a simple guide that walks you through noticing 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 sounds you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This exercise pulls you out of the spiral and into your body. Add a soothing physical object like a textured stone, a piece of fabric, or a dab of essential oil. Keep a short breathing technique handy, like box breathing. Inhale for 4 counts, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4 again. And finally, write down a calming mantra or phrase that resonates with you, something gentle but believable, like, "This will pass. I've handled hard things before, and I can handle this too." These small tools, when practiced regularly, become powerful anchors in the storm. Tool number 2, the Emotion Decoder. One of the most overlooked aspects of mental health is learning how to actually identify and name what we're feeling. Most people, when asked how they're doing, will say things like, "I'm just stressed." But stress is often a cover word. Beneath that might be sadness, fear, frustration, disappointment, or loneliness. That's why every therapy toolkit needs an emotion decoder, and one of the most helpful tools for this is an emotion wheel. Print one out or keep a copy on your phone. In the moment, when your emotions feel big and tangled, the wheel helps you slow down and translate your internal chaos into a specific emotional language. Why does this matter? Because naming your emotions is the first step to regulating them. Neuroscience backs this up. When we name what we feel, we calm the brain's alarm system. To go deeper, pair the wheel with a short, consistent journal practice. You don't need to write pages, just 3 lines a day. What you felt, what triggered it, and how you responded. Over time, this small act builds emotional intelligence like a muscle and gives you insight into patterns you didn't even know were running your life. Tool number 3, the coping strategy menu. When you're overwhelmed, in crisis, or emotionally raw, your brain tends to go offline, and that's not the moment when you can calmly remember your coping skills. That's why your toolkit needs a written menu of strategies you've already tested, trusted, and know will support you. Divide your list into 3 categories. First, cognitive tools. These include things like reframing anxious or irrational thoughts, using CBT-based challenges to catastrophizing, or practicing self-compassion phrases such as, "It makes sense that I feel this way, and I'm still safe." Second, physical or body-based tools. Maybe a brisk 20-minute walk, a stretch session, dancing in your room, or even holding an ice cube when you feel dissociated or panicky. Third, creative and expressive tools. Try writing a letter you won't send, sketching how you feel, or creating playlists for different emotional states. One for sadness, one for motivation, one for grounding. The key here is not to assume you'll remember what helps. Write it out. Call the list "Things that help when I'm struggling," and revisit it often. Tool number 4, the setting of boundaries. Sometimes, the greatest mental strain comes from the people around us, the conversations we dread, the guilt trips we endure, or the yeses we give when we should have said no. This is where a boundaries folder comes in. Write down simple, clear boundary scripts that you can use in real-life situations where you often feel small, silenced, or steamrolled. Things like, "I'm not available for this conversation right now," or "I need some time to think before I answer that," or "I care about you, but I'm at capacity today." These sentences become guardrails, tools for protecting your energy without creating drama. And when you practice them in your own tone and timing, they begin to feel like self-respect in action. Tool number 5, your "Why I'm Worth It" file. When your mental health takes a dip, your mind becomes a very convincing liar. It tells you that you're a burden, that you're not doing enough, that you're too much, too late, too broken. And in those moments, you need evidence that those thoughts are false. That's why you need a file, digital or physical, that you call "Why I'm Worth It." Fill it with reminders of your value and your strength. Notes from friends, compliments you've received, things you've survived, goals you've hit, pictures of you laughing, anything that reminds you of who you are when you're not in survival mode. When you're at your lowest, you won't be able to generate positive thoughts from scratch, so borrow them from your past self. This file becomes the voice of your inner protector, reminding you that you are not your worst day. Tool number 6, your crisis plan. No one expects to fall apart, but mental health episodes, just like medical ones, can come on fast, and having a plan in place can mean the difference between spiraling and surviving. Your crisis plan is simple but powerful. List 3 people you can reach out to, even just to sit on the phone with you in silence. Save the numbers of your local crisis text line or hotline. Include any grounding statements or reminders you want your future self to hear. And if you have a therapist or doctor, include their contact info and emergency instructions. Think of this like an emotional fire escape plan. You may never need it, but if you do, you'll be glad it's already there. The bottom line is this: you are allowed and encouraged to care for your mind before it breaks down. Creating your own therapy toolkit is not just about coping. It's about choosing to walk through life prepared, aware, and self-compassionate. None of us get through this world without facing stress, heartbreak, fear, or emotional overload. But those who prepare, who learn to identify their feelings, create safety in their bodies, and set boundaries with love, don't just survive those storms. They grow through them. So start with one tool, then another. Let it be imperfect. Let it be personal. Let it be yours. And if this helped you feel a little more equipped, a little more seen, or a little more hopeful, share it. Because we heal best when we heal together. Don't forget to subscribe and also check out our other mental health education videos.